Hello Mom and Dad Meet World. So pardon me with there are kids in the background. We are at a playground setting. It's also a lake, which we're actually at. We're just sitting here at the picnic tables. And pardon the flight path right here too, because that's exactly what we are on as planes come in and out right over top of us, not to mention the birds. But let me get to the point here. We are talking about this camera right here. This is the Canon EOS M50 Mark II, and that's actually right here. That is what you are seeing. And we'd actually just picked this up, and I know you're thinking it's 2024. This camera came out around the time in COVID, around 2020, and it's 4 years later. But this is actually a camera that I had actually picked up once before, but it was for around that $800 or so mark. And now we'd actually picked it up for around $200. So we'd actually picked this up at Best Buy, and I've got the sticker for it right here where we had picked it up at Best Buy, except what you actually saw, there was no battery, there was no grip here, no wrist strap, no Arca Swiss plate at the bottom. No cover here for the hot shoe, and no lens. Actually, the sensor was just completely exposed and had some fingerprints already over top of it. So this was picked up for around $220-ish or so dollars after tax when we were at our local Best Buy. It was one of their demo models there. And when we had picked it up, as I said, years ago, picked it up for about $800 or so dollars. Thought it was a little too much for that $800 or so dollars, but that came complete with the camera and then the 15-45 kit lens. I had got this because, well, we had picked up a used M200. We put a different lens on there, but it actually came with this Viltrox EFM to EF or EFM to EFS adapter. And it came with this Canon 18-55 lens. Equivalent on this for this particular camera, multiply the 18-55 by 1.6. That is the full frame equivalent. But anyways, I digress. We had the battery from the M200. Our son's actually using that M200 as a streaming camera, so we've got a dummy battery in there. So we've got the extra battery in there. We had the grip from our previous cameras with the Arca Swiss plate. We had this cover just sitting in the closet. We actually had an extra screen protector. And as I said, the Viltrox adapter with the lens we already had. So it made sense to myself to spend the $200 something, get this camera. I did like this camera as an actual camera. It's got the 24 megapixel sensor. It's got Digic 8 autofocus, the dual pixel autofocus. And I think it actually does really, really well for a camera. So a couple little things to tell you. With 4K video, many things out there online will tell you, well, it's got a major crop factor on top of the 1.6 times crop with this APS-C sensor. And then the other thing too is it loses that dual pixel autofocus. So I've been shooting mainly at 1080p, so 1920 by 1080, 24 or 60 frames per second. I shot 60 frames per second the last time. Did absolutely just fine. Again, the thing with the camera like this, the higher quality glass you have, higher quality lens, the better image you are going to get. So this is a kit lens, an older kit lens, 18-55. That is what we are using here. All right, so this is the audio and the video coming straight off this camera. I've got it on here on 18mm, just holding the actual lens with my hand and recording the audio going straight to the camera. So tell me what you think. This is 1920 by 1080 at 60 frames per second, recording right onto this M50 Mark II. But the thing that made this really cool, especially back in 2020 when you had a lot of the Sony cameras that had the flip up screen, this actually has the flip out and articulating screen. That way we can actually see ourselves as we are taking video of ourselves. And again, when it was during COVID, these were very, very popular. I definitely see why. But there are a couple of design flaws I just want to point out because it's not a deal breaker if you are used to it, but there have been many other videos and I see why. I experienced this when we had this originally, but if you want to get to the memory card or you need to charge this battery, you can't just plug in and use USB-C to charge it. You actually have to remove the battery and put it on the charger, which we also did have from that other camera. But if you take a look at this, we've got the Arca Swiss plate on here. This will not completely come off here. So in order to get the battery and the memory card out of here, the battery and memory card are all in one. Right here, you actually have to remove this Arca base plate every single time you want to charge the battery or take the memory card out. That can be a little bit of a pain, but I don't think it's a breaking point, or I don't think it's a deal breaker for this particular camera. It does have this little viewfinder here that does come in handy, works just fine. Actually does even have a flip up flash that does pop up if my little hot shoe cover here weren't blocking it. So that's neat if you need a little bit more light. And as far as like the video quality and autofocus, it's been really darn good. It does hunt a very little bit. I've noticed when I was doing a little bit of a talking head, just like we are here. So right now I'm actually using a Sony camera that you see me right now on, but it actually does absolutely just fine, where it does find the autofocus right back. But again, it's actually not too bad. The autofocus is actually quite good, I would say, for this particular camera. I'm going to show you some pictures that we took here too while we were at the park right here. It is definitely a park. You've been hearing the noises all around me, but I'll show you some of the pictures here, and you can decide for yourself on the quality. But overall, this has been a camera that I've liked ever since we had picked up many years ago. 2024 just happened to stumble onto this at a Best Buy. It was their floor model. They had removed it and they just sold it as is, open box that you see right here. And we just happen to have all the accessories that fit this. Hello, sorry for the interruption right here, but there were a couple things I did forget to mention. So with this M50 Mark II, Canon has discontinued the M series, and that includes the actual M series cameras and the lenses. So this is now obsolete, or should I say will be obsolete, and the RF line is what is the latest and greatest as of right now. The thing with this, even though the M series is still obsolete, with this particular Viltrox adapter that we have on here, you can still use all of Canon Legacy EF and EFS lenses, which opens up a world of possibilities, even though this is a discontinued camera. So that's one. Hey cat. And then the second thing is that you can actually get a very similar camera to this in the Canon R100 line, and as you can see right here, it is priced very similar. And then you get the 2-lens kit right here. It's actually a very good deal for what you are getting. And again, this is the latest greatest, but the R100, keep in mind, that is still a 24 megapixel sensor, same as this. It is still using the Digic 8 processor, but the main difference is going to be the screen right here. With the screen, you've got this being rotating and articulating, and you can have it facing you, where the R100 is not a touch screen, and it is a fixed screen on the rear only. So keep that in mind. If you did want something very similar, but you do bump up to Digic 10 and you've got more features with it, that's going to be the Canon R50. Again, uses the RF lens system. It's also APS-C, but you've got that rotating, articulating screen. And for the body only, you're going to be double the price of that R100, so keep that in mind. But just wanted to inform you and let you know. Getting back to the video, I mean, is it worth it? Is it worth the $200-something if you can find it? I would say absolutely. It does have clean HDMI out, so if you want to use this for streaming, definitely do so. We did update the firmware. note to self, if you do have a Mac, you'll need to go to Canon's website, go on the Windows 11 side, and then you can actually download the firmware onto there and then put that firmware onto your root directory, main directory. Don't put it in any other folder of your SD card, and then let it do its thing and upgrade the firmware from there. So yeah, this has been the Canon EOS M50 Mark II. Been a cool little camera. It's been pretty darn awesome in my opinion. But if you like this video, you know what to do. Please hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps out our channel. And until next time, thanks for watching. Bye for now.